It is specific enough to point you in the right direction. It is long-lasting enough to touch your most fundamental core values. You can't take someone else's life purpose and try to live it yourself while expecting to be happy. Everyone aspires to lead a meaningful life. It's a trait of humanity that stems from your dislike of feeling motionless. We must continue to advance toward a target or purpose. Without it, we are less content. However, it's simpler said than done. What does living a life with meaning entail? Living with purpose means working for a significant objective that fits with your beliefs and passions and makes you happy. Finding your mission in life is not always simple. Therefore, this is more difficult than it seems. It will be more difficult to find lasting happiness without a purpose. But it doesn't imply you can't be happy without one. There are many well-known goals in life, including providing for your family, living a successful life, making positive connections with others, and enjoying those around you. Traveling the world. You can't take someone else's life purpose and try to live it yourself while expecting to be happy. You must identify and establish your own life purpose if you wish to lead a meaningful life. The meaning of life varies from person to person, just as happiness is something that is unique to every single person. I have determined my own life purpose, and I suggest that you do the same. You can't locate it by spending the entire day on a chair waiting for this purpose to find you. By repeatedly doing the same things, you will not find your purpose. Rather, you discover it by doing and doing new things. It's also critical to understand that your career and your life's mission are not the same. There are way too many people looking for a profession that can also fulfill their own mission in life. Before you were born, God knew what your life had in store for you. When I was a secondary school student, I remember that one of my teachers once asked us to imagine what and where we wanted to be in 10 years. The majority of my classmates named a profession they hoped to pursue, defending their line of work as an engineer, physician, or lawyer, for example. When it was my turn, I declared without thinking, I want to be successful. I was viewed as being overly materialistic, so this was not well received. But at the time, that was my life purpose. I could have thought that would make me happy. I've been thinking about how to discover my mission in life for a while. I've been looking for solutions through several mediums, including books, social media, and close friends. I'm on a journey of self-discovery, and I'd like to share some of my ideas with you. The most fundamental purpose of life is survival. It is the driving force behind life and the reason we get out of bed in the morning. But is this sufficient to meet our needs? I've worked with several leaders in the past on their professional and personal development. Many of the most effective leaders, in my opinion, have goals that are fairly clear in terms of how they plan to attain them. With passion, zeal, dedication, and a distinct personal vision, they take on their leadership responsibilities. With the majority of the other folks I interact with, the same is true. In the course of this journey, I realize that those who have a distinct life purpose are the happiest and lead the most fulfilling lives. More significantly, they discover purpose and worth in their work. Numerous studies have shown that persons who spend their lives with a clear purpose are happier, healthier, and live longer than those who don't. This inspired me to examine my own values and priorities as the first step in my journey of self-discovery. How do I ensure that I have the discipline to carry out my plans? And how can I discover a deep sense of purpose in what I do? The purpose of life is to live, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experience. Eleanor Roosevelt. In essence, the journey to discover purpose includes these two essential components. One, something you take pleasure in and feel good about. And two, something that you think matters more than you and has an effect. Unfortunately, most of us are too busy with our usual activities and routines to make an effort to focus deeply on our life purpose. We are frequently overburdened by our work, obligations to our families, and daily responsibilities. The impediments to living a fulfilled life. Conformity is a roadblock we will meet in our quest to find our purpose. One of the biggest impediments to working toward a worthwhile life goal is conformity. Following the majority's lead is typically easier. But if we want to thrive in life, the last thing we should do is blindly follow others. When something extreme happens, like a near-death experience, after having accomplished our goals, wouldn't it be wonderful if, at the end of our lives, we could look back with appreciation and happiness and no regrets? We all make errors. Therefore, this can come out as idealistic. However, the outcomes may be drastically different with a little more preparation. The mystery of human existence lies not in just staying alive, but in first finding something to live for. Fyodor Dostoevsky. If you have a strong purpose in life, you don't have to be pushed. Your passion will drive you there. Roy T. Bennett. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Lao Tzu. An additional tip for finding purpose in life is to evaluate previous events that defined you, your tipping point, by letting go of your ego and accepting your flaws from the past. Even more importantly, take notes. Being open to your emotional selves, being happy, and cultivating a growth mindset are all important. Meditate to clear and quiet your mind. I've seen some corporate leaders transform by devoting significant time each day to morning meditation. To meet new people, try new pursuits like reading, music, or joining a new community. This has helped many people change careers to something they enjoy. As a result, people live more fulfilled and satisfied lives. By exposing yourselves to a new environment, you can better understand your own personal beliefs as well as the perspectives of others. We are a part of something much larger than ourselves. More can be obtained by giving more. While some of us may be unfamiliar with this concept, the results will amaze you once you get started. We are doing something larger than ourselves. You get more by giving more. While this concept may seem strange to some of us, the results will continue to amaze you once you get started. The purpose of life is to contribute in some way to make things better. Robert F. Kennedy. Next, formulating a life purpose for yourself. Here is my suggestion for developing your life purpose, based on an example from my own experience. My life's work is to encourage education and personal development for youth, people who want to excel and fulfill their potential, as a result of which they live a more fulfilling and compassionate life. One method for creating a declaration of your life purpose is described above. It is critical that you prominently display it so that you are constantly reminded that everything you do is in line with your mission. A few criteria must be met for it to be a good purpose. It is motivating and inspiring enough to give you a sense of urgency. It is specific enough to point you in the right direction. It is long-lasting enough to touch your most fundamental core values. Final thoughts on how to find purpose in life. The information presented above is a compilation of feedback and suggestions I've received from individuals from different walks of life. They are useful and valuable to me. I hope you will take into account the recommendations that are relevant and useful to you. Life, like the four seasons, has its ups and downs. Adversity and difficulties are unavoidable. But with each challenge, we grow stronger, better, and wiser. We have the unique ability as humans to make choices and shape our own fate. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people just exist. Oscar Wilde. Finishing up. Happiness is an important and fundamental component of a meaningful life. We live our lives less efficiently when we lack a sense of purpose, and it is more difficult to find long-term happiness. If you want to live a purposeful life, you must first discover your own. You will then be able to steer your life in the best possible direction.